Welcome to AdGraph, the first real-time graph-based ad intelligence engine that uses the full fire hose of XPost to model every user's interests, social context, and emotional state as they change. Instead of using static ad systems that only look at long-term behavior, we model real-time mood, trend spikes, and community activation inside a dynamic social graph. We combine tweet embeddings, sentiment, and interaction data with a graph neural network to generate live, predictive user embeddings that update as conversations evolve. And this creates an ad platform that knows what people care about right now and not yesterday. Now, let's take a look at the graph. To begin, this is the base graph. And the first thing we can kind of generally do is cluster. And this will give us kind of an idea of how patterns can arise in the graph. Now, by clustering data, we run a k-means clustering to kind of understand how communities can form. And let's say I want to see where Brian lies in a specific community. Now, each node here is actually a vectorized embedding, and this holds specific information about the user, such as topic interest, influencer following, community membership, and post sentiment. Now, the weights between the edges are dynamic, and these can include social interactions such as A following B, A retweeting B, topic similarity, and how two users actually talk in the same sentiment during certain time frames. For example, if a certain event happens, are they correlated to each other? Now, we train this through a graph neural network to kind of better understand the embeddings. And here we can kind of see an example of where Brian lies in his community. And you can see it's a little highlighted here. And these are all people who have a very similar what we call personality. Now, by doing vector embeddings like this, we're able to capture something that is almost like we can tell if he's an impulse buyer. He feels left out often and makes impulse decisions based on feeling left out. If he follows certain crowds, so for example, if he follows certain influencers and follows their buying patterns. By doing vector embeddings like this, essentially what we're doing is getting an understanding of personality. Now, the next feature that we have is something called grok targeting. The idea behind this is that, let's say I have an ad that I'm trying to create, or if a company reached out to you, for example, Nike or Amazon, and they said, hey, we want to put an ad, who can we market it to? Now, let's say we want to market xAI and their new image generation software, right, when it comes out. And by processing all the vector embeddings, we're actually able to find a good target customer of these users that are very likely or somewhat likely to buy due to their, their buying relationships, due to their edge relationships, and due to their topic interests, but more importantly, due to their sentiments in their posts, due to their emotions. And because we're able to appeal to emotions, we're able to advertise a lot better. Now, here we can get a little bit of understanding of the estimated impact. Now, we've targeted 150 users here, and the reason it's a little low is because we've only trained around 1,200 users, and we have a metric called reach quality, which essentially quantifies how, or predicts how likely a user is to actually go. And this will be based off interactions such as real-time sentiment, such as previous decisions. And from traditional targeting, as we compare metrics, we can see that it's a 217% improvement. Now, the way we kind of benchmark traditional targeting is using static variables and static representations of users. So, for example, just using their posts. And without actually doing any emotion analysis or sentiment analysis, or without actually categorizing them and finding a community for them. Now, the final thing is something called sentiment analysis. Now, kind of idea behind sentiment analysis is that because X is the biggest real-time trend pattern software, we're able to utilize that to sell ads at the right and perfect time. And what we do this is we're able to actually play the emotion market. And what I mean by this is, let's take a look at the tech market. Let's say we have three of the main, drivers in this market, including ChatGPT, Claude, and xAI. And essentially what we're doing is we're able to analyze how each post, or how an influx of posts in a real-time way affect the overall sentiment of the company. And we're actually able to filter out by specific users, by specific posts, and also by just the account on X, for example, the ChatGPT account or Sam Altman account on X. Now, by filtering these posts out, we're actually able to get a better understanding of sentiment, get a better understanding of real-time data on how we should actually be targeting ads, and the optimal time to post ads in order to attract the most profits.